Handmaid's Tale Episode 3, Baggage, is a really interesting episode because we learn a lot more about June's backstory, and this is the furthest we've gone into her backstory, learning about her relationship with her mom, and even seeing little June as a kid at a rally with her mom. We learn her mom is a feminist, activist, and part of that hippie generation in a way. And we learn a lot more about June through this because we can see the contrast between her and her mom. You can kind of put it as three moral compasses we've seen so far in June's storyline between June, her mother, and Gilead, where her mother's the total opposite of Gilead, and June is nowhere near Gilead either, but she is a little more traditional than her mom. And you see they start to butt heads as June decides she's not going for her dreams anymore and working more of a 9-to-5 job, and how she's ready to settle down with a guy and Luke, and the mom's like, I'm not really sure I like Luke, telling her daughter she's settling. There's a little part of her mom that's right, but she's also hard on her daughter and how she goes about it, and doesn't congratulate her on getting a promotion, and decides to talk to other people about their website. So you see the mommy issues arise here. But what made this episode great was it shows June thinking about her mom's beliefs in the current situation she's in. And it's kind of that feeling we've all had where there's certain thoughts we didn't agree with our parents as growing up, and all of a sudden one day it clicks, and that maybe they were right about a certain thing, and I think that clearly works with this situation. And then her mom knew it was coming, and we find out her mom is in the colonies. So we wonder, is she still alive in current time? Has she made it through? I'm sure she has, but that could be interesting to see her down the road. She's another great actress. But I think a really important revelation that June had here was not to wait for a man anymore, and to take things into her own hands. And that was her jump and leap in this episode. Stop waiting for a guy to pick you up in a van. Stop waiting for Nick to give you direction. Just go for it. And then we get the best scene of the episode, clearly, when June is on the jet, and she's crying, realizing she's leaving for Canada, and she hopes one day for her child to forgive her, like she would forgive her mom if she saw her now. You realize, again, with parents, no one's perfect. This is always going to happen. And that was a great flashback scene, two of them singing together in the car. It really hit that mother-daughter relationship well. Now, they still love each other, but you start to get each other when you're distant. You wish you could say things when they're not around that you could have in the past. But while she's flying away, June, and realizing this, she's also letting go of her daughter in a way, and that urge to go and save her. And it's messing with her brain, and it's going to be interesting because then June, of course, gets caught because this is Handmaid's Tale. Nothing happy can happen. And you wonder how this is going to affect June, knowing that she basically still made the leap to leave her daughter, and now she's back in that situation that she was in the beginning. So we'll see. It was really cool seeing the other sector of Gilead, which was the place where the low-class people live. They're the Econo wives, and a very important line here is that June says this is where she would be if she wasn't an adulteress. And the family she's with is basically a mirror reflection of her family. But we learn too that the Econo wife she's with is also still under Gilead's beliefs in a way. Not as extreme, but she still has thoughts about handmaids and that they're trash, and she's telling that to her husband and mentions her being an adulteress. So you see there's still problems there, and they're still a slave to that religion and belief system there. It's just they don't have the awful gig of being a handmaid. Now I wonder what's going to result of this family now that June's been caught. That could be an interesting take as well. We'll see. There's always consequence in Gilead. And we finally got to see Moira again in Canada. And the husband, Luke, I'm not crazy about it. I don't trust him still. Maybe it's just the actor's facial expressions, but something about him seems not trustworthy. I do think it's going to be a big twist eventually. We'll see. And you can clearly tell Moira is dealing with PTSD from being in Gilead, rightfully so. And when she's in the bar and she sees that girl, there's a part of her that's, I don't know, maybe feeling guilt about not being in Gilead anymore. It's like that survivor's guilt going on. We'll see how she deals with that, because she couldn't even enjoy the sex with the girl she met in the club like the other girl was. She's got something on the mind clearly. So that's opening up an interesting story with the character we really like. So I'm excited to see how that goes. This episode was very strong, solid episode. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Really enjoyed it. A little slow in the beginning, but it was worth it. It was important stuff to get in there to build June's character and to set up for what this consequence is going to be now with June getting caught. And back to the dark feeling of Handmaid. We had some hope here, and it's quickly gone. So let's see. Please comment below with your thoughts. I respond to everybody. Let's get the discussion going on the show. Let me know if you liked this episode, didn't like it, and please subscribe. My review of Handmaid's Tale will be up right when the new episode airs, so you don't want to miss that. I'll be doing every episode, and I'll see you next time.